Hey everybody, welcome to the DarkMatch, and welcome back to another episode of What Iron Sheik is Tweeting.
Hooray!
TNA is half the gay for the Hulk Hogan, only half the real because all the boys I love for heart in the wrestling, Hulk only the gay. And speaking of Twitter, we now have a Twitter account, and that Twitter account is twitter.com/DarkMatchWrestling. At any rate, I am No Leaf Clover, and with me on the show this week is...
Matt the Paranoid Cat.
I'm Backlash.
I'm Mr. War Machine.
Of course, as usual, we'll start off by talking about WWE Monday Night Raw. It was live from Anaheim, California, and the first match on the show was John Cena versus CM Punk. The first thing we saw. What did you guys think of the match?
Yeah, it was a pretty good match, though I gotta admit, the promo kind of dragged a little bit that they did beforehand. I just find CM Punk so hilarious coming out saying, I'm a good person, good things should happen to me.
Yeah.
I love his character, I absolutely do.
I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about it, but the match itself I thought was really solid. Was it a stipulation that Nexus was banned from ringside?
What it was CM Punk says, I don't need the Nexus to beat you, they can all stay in back.
Right. But, of course...
He lied.
Yeah, go figure. CM Punk...
What's CM Punk lying? Surely you jest.
Underneath the ring is a member of the Nexus, and he hands Punk a chair and slides it into the ring. The referee stops him from using the chair, but while he's dealing with the chair, because, referees just have a problem with chairs in professional wrestling, it's very difficult to remove from the ring, the member of the Nexus reaches out and gives Punk a wrench, which CM Punk uses to hit John Cena. And then he delivers the GTS for the 1, 2, 3.
Well, you need to hit Cena with the GTS after him with a wrench because you're not sure if he'll stay down after you use your finisher.
Well, clearly that was a kryptonite wrench. Because you can't just beat Cena with the normal GTS. No, you have to expose him to the one thing that will hurt him. I mean, only two things can hurt Cena, kryptonite and magic.
And getting rid of his merch. The merch is like his golden sun.
Exactly.
Merch powers only help you so much. You will quake before my mighty wrench.
Also, just as a side note, we want to send our condolences to Jerry the King Lawler. His mother, unfortunately, passed away. Cole and Matthews had to mention that because Lawler wasn't at the show, but sorry to bring it down for a moment there. Just wanted to get that out of the way.
Well, it had to be said.
Yeah, it had to be said. But when we come back from commercial... Why do they keep putting Del Rio on Raw? I don't understand. I would rather him stay on SmackDown. And the weird thing is, he's not really chewing anything.
I think the thing is, they're kind of starting to realize that brand separation is just a load of crap. And they're putting Del Rio on, hoping for like a ratings pop, because, Del Rio has actually been a pretty good draw lately.
This happens every year around WrestleMania, where the brand extension goes completely to shit. Like, during the rest of the year, they pretend that, it's still a thing, even though it's not. But around WrestleMania time, they're just like, you know what, fuck it. We're just going to put everyone on every show and try and get the biggest rating possible. Del Rio comes out, he introduces himself. My name is Alberto Del Rio! But you already knew that. He can't even cut his promo, though, because all of a sudden Edge comes out. Because apparently they needed to put this SmackDown segment on the episode of Raw. So Edge and Del Rio, they get into a scuffle. Edge throws Del Rio out of the ring. And then who else but the biggest, best heel in the wrestling business today?
Excuse me!
Oh, God.
Excuse me!
She's still better than Karen Angle.
Yeah, she is. Let's not compare Karen Angle to Vicky Guerrero. Vicky Guerrero is worlds better than Karen Angle. And
One thing I absolutely love about Vicky Guerrero, she has an evil laugh.
Essentially what Vicky says is that she has proof that Edge was the one that hurt Teddy Long, and that on Friday Night SmackDown, she would reveal her evidence, and then she would crown Dolph Ziggler the new World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, let's just say she has as much evidence as creationism.
Ooh, edgy.
I like to keep it that way.
So next is the Divas match.
Oh, yeah, this shit. Why do they have so many Lumberjill matches for the Divas?
They have too many Lumberjack matches, period. They just love doing it, and there's no reason for it.
It's specifically with the Divas. It feels like every month or so they have a fucking Lumberjack match.
And there was 7 Divas outside the ring. Everyone who's on Raw, basically. Every Diva who's on Raw. Okay, what's the point of this? Shouldn't, Lumberjack matches, have, 20 fucking people around the ring?
Shouldn't Lumberjack matches actually have a point? A Lumberjack match is supposed to be used as the blow-off to a feud in which usually it's when two guys just can't stay in the ring. They keep fighting outside the ring. Matches end in DQs. They end in no contest. And the powers that be, or the authority figure, finally gets pissed off and says, you know what? We're going to put you in a Lumberjack match so you can't fight all over the arena and shit. There's no reason for Natalya and Eve to be in a fucking Lumberjack match.
I'll tell you why they did it. It is because they wanted to drive home the point that the Bella Twins are now heel, if you didn't already get that.
But Natalya versus Eve, it was okay. For a Divas match, it was
above average than what we usually get. I thought Eve was doing pretty good until it looked like she botched the finish.
Yeah, she did botch the finish. After this, Eve and Natalya shake. Why is Natalya friends with Eve? I don't understand. Didn't she steal her title?
Because she's a face.
That's bullshit. And the fact that Natalya didn't win. And why is Eve Divas champion? I don't understand it.
It's as I've always said, everyone gets a turn.
Well, Eve already had her fucking
Except for
turn.
Kelly.
But as I said, she's a black hole of fucking personality. She has no charisma. She's not very good in the ring. I mean, she's pretty to look at, but she's not even the hottest diva. Whatever, I could rant about Eve forever. Oh, when we come back from commercial after that madness, Eve is backstage arguing with the Bella Twins because, as we mentioned, the Bella Twins are heels now because they're actual contributing members of the show instead of just arm candy for the fucking guest host. The Bellas attack Eve, then Gail and Talia come over out of fucking nowhere, and it's just, basically, it descends into a fucking clusterfuck.
Honestly, I can't complain about this because they're actually letting Gail Kim do something.
Yeah, actually on TV.
That was reminding me of TNA a little bit with Mickie James and fucking Tara brawling each other. Ugh.
Mark Henry is getting ready to come out for his match, but as he's coming out, Sheamus comes out and basically fucks up Mark Henry's shit. He cuts a really kind of typical heel promo about how he's gonna win the Elimination Chamber. Basically, it's a short promo to set up, the fact that he's gonna be facing Randy Orton later in the match. The WWE officials try to help Mark Henry back up, and Sheamus runs over and fucking kicks him in the head. And are Sheamus and Mark Henry feuding? I know CM Punk and the Nexus kind of set them up and all that shit, but they're not feuding, right?
I doubt it.
Because Mark Henry isn't in the Elimination Chamber, which is what kind of confuses me. But at any rate, the next match on the card is The Miz versus Daniel Bryan.
No.
Best theme music ever. Still not as good as Final Countdown. I will bitch about that every week until they change it. This match, again, Miz and Daniel Bryan, they just have insane in-ring chemistry, insane mic chemistry. This was a really, really good match.
I was really enjoying this match. I'd actually call it match of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People were saying that Daniel Bryan carried The Miz, and I say they carried each other.
Miz is at the point right now where I don't think anyone has to carry him. He's been having good matches with pretty much everybody he's gotten in the ring with, and it can't just be guys carrying him to good matches. I mean, for God's sakes, he's had good matches with Cena, and Cena can't carry a fucking bucket of water without spilling it on himself, so...
Here's how I think of it. I think that Bryan really made The Miz look strong, but he also managed to make himself not look weak, because he did lose, but he took one hell of a beating.
And
yeah.
Not only did he take one hell of a beating, but he dished out one hell of a beating. This was a great example of how to do a match where both the faces and the heels come out looking better. And I definitely noticed that amongst when the young guys have matches with each other, they fucking wrestle their asses off for each other. Because they understand what, all the old timers claimed used to be the way the business works. Apparently it's not the way the business works anymore. But all the old timers claim, when we used to go out there and wrestle, it's not about making yourself look good, it's about making the other guy look good. And somewhere during, the Attitude Era where everyone was hitting each other with shit all the time and, the decade-long Triple H domination and all this shit, that's kind of become a lost art of two guys going out there and trying to make each other look good. Usually the way matches are booked, it's the company wants to get the shine on one person, and it's either a squash or it's damn close to a squash. But when you see Miz and Morrison wrestle, or Miz and Daniel Bryan, or Daniel Bryan and Ziggler wrestle, they elevate each other to a completely new level. Clearly the WWE has finally caught on to the idea that, all their kind of older talent is retiring. I mean, Triple H isn't going to be around much longer, allegedly, according to rumors. Undertaker's not going to be around much longer. All their older talents are kind of going away, and I think Vince finally realized, I can't push the same 3 or 4 guys all the fucking time. Miz hits his skull-crushing finale for the pin, the win, and then Miz gets on the mic, and did anyone else start to cringe when he started talking about Jerry Lawler's mother?
Yeah, I was sitting there, I was like, oh no.
They handled that about as well as possible. I really, really expected Miz to say something really fucking slimy. He just said, I send you my deepest condolences, but I do hope that it doesn't distract you from the fact that at Elimination Chamber, I'm basically going to be the WWE champion, because he's the Miz, and he's
awesome!
Yeah, you know what I loved about that promo? Even though he was probably sincere about sending his deepest regards, the crowd didn't buy it at all.
That is how you know you are over as a heel. If you are trying to be sincere and trying to say to someone, look, I'm sorry there's some bad shit happening to you, and the crowd doesn't buy it, you are 100% douchebag.
There's very few legitimate heels in the business right now, but Miz is definitely one of them. He's pretty much universally hated unless he's in a match with Cena. The next match on the show was John Morrison and R-Truth versus David Otunga and Michael McGillicuddy.
This was supposed to be a match between John Morrison and R-Truth, just them, singles match, but they decided to make it, tag match.
Yeah, and this is what I would like to call Parkour Ray.
Morrison flipped his shit.
Instead of Jake Gyllenhaal, the Prince of Persia movie should have had John Morrison.
That would have been an awesome movie. I mean, he can't act, but that still would have been a better movie than that piece of shit. But yeah, Morrison, like we said, he flipped out. And I like that they finally showed that intense side of John Morrison. He's been that kind of like, that happy-go-lucky guy, and he can't really cut a promo because his character isn't clearly defined yet. But it was very nice to see him be an intense, serious face who wanted to fucking beat some ass. They fucking dominated the Nexus.
Super serial John Morrison.
After this, we get a very good plug for Chris Jericho's new book, which I still have to pick up when we come back from commercial. And it's basically it's a segment to promote the Chaperone. Here's all you need to know about this segment. Raw drew a pretty decent rating for certain reasons that will be discussed at a later time, but this segment lost 406,000 people. That's how bad this was.
So they lost more viewers than Impact gets.
That's not right. It's probably true. but it's not right. Basically, it's a kiss cam segment with fucking little girl from Modern Family and the movie Chaperone. Ariel Winter comes out. The only notable thing is that Yoshi got a kiss from Marie.
And we discovered that Hornswoggle is a pedophile.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Hornswoggle is 24 years old, and this is a 13-year-old girl. He's almost twice her age.
Oh, and there was Regal and Zack Ryder.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Regal and Zack Ryder's reactions, that's enough to put them in the main event. If I had seen their reactions, I would have gone, you know what? Put the belt on that motherfucker right there. Then we cut backstage, and a camera is outside awaiting the arrival of the WrestleMania 27 guest host.
It was out there all night, and they just kept cutting to it. And basically just, we're waiting.
We're waiting. For the,
still waiting.
When else is going to show up?
Still waiting.
Wait, should we do something? We should do something.
Are we just going to sit out here and wait? Yeah, that's what we're paid to do. This is a boring goddamn job.
It's fucking cold out here!
Next match was Randy Orton versus Sheamus. This was pretty much an average match, am I right?
I just really want Sheamus to beat Randy Orton because Sheamus is a better wrestler, hands down.
Well, that's
debatable.
Essentially, that's saying, like, who's hotter, Chyna or Nicole Bass? I mean, it's not the kind of decision you can make. It was an okay match, not the kind of match you'd want to be, the main event of the show. The main event on the show should have been Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. Instead, it was this. We got a kind of average-y match. Not any better than any other matches they had. Not any worse than any other matches. Just right in the middle. After the match, of course, Punk and Nexus hit the ring. Basically, try and fuck up Orton shit. Then a hardcore rage, John Morrison runs down. He hits Punk. Then R-Truth comes down and gets involved, and so does John Cena. Basically, it's just turned into a big brawl. Orton RKOs McGillicuddy and Otunga, and then Cena and Orton clothesline Mason Ryan out of the ring. After that, Punk goes for the GTS on Orton, but Orton slides off the shoulders, and Cena hits him with the AA. What a stupid name for a fucking finisher.
The thing is, I don't really care about John Cena. I don't have any feelings toward him at all. I've come to the determination that it doesn't matter how much I hate him because guess what? He's not going away for a long, long time. So I've just given up hating on Cena. And since I've given up the hate, he's not that bad. He can cut a promo.
He's not that bad. He's really stale. And the thing is, they have to add another dimension to his character, whether that's him being more serious, whether that's him not coming out in the stupid shirts that clearly everyone makes fun of. He needs to do something different.
They need to turn him heel.
They're not going to turn him heel because he's the fucking Hulk Hogan, Vince,
how much money did WCW make when they turned Hulk Hogan heel, though?
But Vince would have never turned Hulk Hogan heel. That's the thing. If Hulk Hogan had stayed in WWF, he would have never turned Hulk Hogan heel. It's like Nash says all the time. I know you don't really trust what Kevin Nash has to say all the time, but the one thing Nash always says is that he likes having clean-cut good guys. And John Cena is about as clean-cut as they get. I know that Hulk was heel when he came back for the NWO thing, but he did not stay heel. But
the thing is that in the past, WWF and WWE, they've always had, most of all of their main eventers have been heels at one point. Like Randy Orton, he's a babyface now, but he used to be a heel for the longest time. Austin has been a heel. The Rock has been a heel. Kurt Angle's been a heel. Undertaker's been a heel. They've all gone through the motions like that. And, in my opinion, it's always furthered their career.
When Cena first started, the rap gimmick, he was a heel. But aside from that, you have to remember that when Stone Cold turned heel at WrestleMania 17, the crowd shat on it. They refused to fucking boo Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that's exactly what... guys like us would boo him. You think any little kid is gonna boo John Cena? Really? Unless they do a really good heel turn. I I don't see a heel turn making his character better. Because what's his heel turn going to be? He's just going to be serious Cena. He's going to be the exact same guy, only he's not going to tell poopy jokes.
No, he'll still tell poopy jokes. It'll just be directed at the faces and the crowd.
No, but see, the thing I think they need to turn him heel is because then they might actually let him wrestle. Because they don't let him wrestle the way he is right now. He just goes out there, he gets beat up for a while, does his 5 moves, and then that's the end of the match.
I think Vince is looking at it from a monetary standpoint. Like, okay, I can turn him heel, and maybe it gets a short-term reaction, but how much money am I going to lose on this shit? Yeah, I'm going to lose money on merch. I can't put him in movies. I can't have him go on fucking TV shows and promote the product. Like, it's not just the in-ring aspect of it. It's everything. John Cena is supposed to be the face of the company, so I don't see John Cena becoming a heel until someone knocks him off that pedestal.
It's kind of like turning Jeff Hardy heel. I mean, who would do that?
I know. I mean, that's just silly. I mean, after the big clusterfuck brawl, we go backstage and we finally see a limousine pull up inside the arena, and it's a woman wearing high heels.
I'll be honest, I totally thought it was Stephanie at first. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, who else could they get to be the guest host? And I thought, like, maybe they drag Trish Stratus in.
It was fucking Snooki.
Oh, God. No.
Well, you do know that John Cena and Snooki have been trading tweets on the Twitters. Snooki wants Cena's bod. And apparently,
Cena does like fat chicks.
Yeah, so apparently he likes Oompa Loompas too. But when we come back from commercial, Justin Roberts is in the ring, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your WrestleMania guest hosts." And one by one, all the lights go out. If you smell The Rock is cooking.
If I may summarize the entire wrestling community's response to that, it would be,
everybody came in their pants.
Well, we were being super swerved.
I literally ran laps around my living room.
That was so exciting. The Rock has come back home to the WWE, and he cut a promo to which none of us can do any justice.
He cut a promo to end all promos. If they never cut another promo again, we would understand why.
This is probably the best argument for not being PG anymore.
Not only is it the best argument for not being PG, it's probably the best argument for not being scripted, as heavily scripted as they are. Because The Rock doesn't work with the script. He just goes out there and fucking talks. And when he talks, it's fucking electrifying.
He had the attention of everyone in that crowd. I guarantee you he had the attention of everyone at home, because when The Rock is talking, you know your role, and you shut your mouth.
A lesson that Michael Cole learned.
Go learn.
Chris Jericho and The Rock are the only two people that have truly burned Michael Cole.
You see, but they both did it differently. Like, The Rock did it in the typical Rock style. Chris Jericho did it like he was just... Everyone does it in, like, really elaborate, over-the-top ways. Like, John Cena, like, tried to say that Cole wasn't a man, and it wasn't all that funny. But, like, Chris Jericho just did it like he would say it to anyone else, which made it funny.
Exactly. Basically, like, he's like, just shut the hell up, we're all sick of listening to you.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we can't do this promo justice. You have to watch it yourself, because it is quite frankly the best promo that anyone has done in years. The entire internet community was watching it. Twitter just didn't explode from the fans. I mean, all the wrestlers were talking about it. The fucking wrestling world stopped when The Rock returned. The only negative thing I can think of is the fact that he said he was never going to leave and that he was back for good. Maybe not in those exact words, but he did say that he was never going to leave.
You see, I don't think he meant it in the way that we're all thinking. I think he meant it as a statement of, I'm The Rock. Even if I, go away, don't wrestle anymore, I'm still going to be around, like symbolically.
And I think the also part of it was he was saying that maybe he wasn't going to disappear for another 7 years. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he'll pop up on Raw once in a while.
Or SmackDown.
Yeah.
He's been saying he wants to work behind the scenes with wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, and that's understandable because, you know, he doesn't want to wrestle anymore. You know, he doesn't want to be on the road for 300 days a year, putting his body through all that. But there is one thing we have to talk about here, and that is the epic burnage that he gave one John Cena. He made fun of Cena's merch powers. He made fun of the, you can't see me. You can't see me. Can you see me? I can see you. Can you see me? I mean, like I said, we cannot do the promo justice. To sum it up, this was a really good episode of Monday Night Raw. It was made infinitely better by the fact that The Rock came back. But even if he didn't, I thought this was a pretty solid episode of Monday Night Raw.
I mean, we all knew that he was coming back, but the way the story was going and people were saying, oh, Justin Bieber's going to do it, it's like, if that happens, burn Atlantis to the ground.
But what did you guys think of this episode of Monday Night Raw?
I thought it was really good, though. I honestly want to discuss where they might go with The Rock from here, because he's saying he wants to face Cena at WrestleMania 27, but the obvious angle they're going for is that Cena's going to win the Elimination Chamber and face The Miz. Because he's Cena, and he gets his title shot every goddamn year.
What I think is going to happen is that The Rock and Cena are going to have their issues. Cena's going to win the fucking Elimination Chamber match. I mean, that's just the case. What I think is going to happen is going to be The Miz versus John Cena with The Rock as a special guest referee. And then Cena, of course, is going to fucking win. And The Rock is going to raise his hand after the match, thereby passing the torch in that symbolic way like Hogan did for The Rock. Only, you know, The Rock deserved it.
Honestly, I wish they would go with a match between them. And I know The Rock is all about, like, putting over the younger guys. Like, his last appearance, WrestleMania 20, he really put over Batista and Randy Orton. But honestly, I think Cena just needs to be taken down a peg. Just brought down to reality, because he has nothing on The Rock.
Here's the thing about that. It's not good business for a wrestler to show up once a year and essentially, I mean, that's what Hulk Hogan did. When he came back to WWE, he would come back once a year. They would put him in a feud with someone. Hogan would squash them, and then he would disappear for a year. That's why him and Shawn Michaels have so much heat. Remember, because Hogan and Shawn Michaels were supposed to have a kind of a feud that would lead to, you know, maybe a match at WrestleMania where they were supposed to trade victories back and forth, and essentially Hogan pulled out of it at the last second, which is why Shawn Michaels acted like a huge dick in that match. And then he came back and he fucking squashed Randy Orton, and essentially I think Vince just got sick of fucking this guy coming back to his company, squashing his young talent, and then fucking leaving for a year. And then coming back and wanting a paycheck the next year to squash the next guy. I don't think...
Kind of like The Undertaker.
Well, Undertaker still puts people over, you know. He's not gone because he doesn't want to wrestle and he's just looking for a payday. Undertaker's getting old. He's getting more injuries. You know, they take longer to recover from. So that's Undertaker's deal. I don't think The Rock wants to be a guy like Hulk Hogan. I don't think he wants to be the guy that comes in once a year, beats, you know, one of the over guys, and then leaves. Which is why I want John Cena versus The Rock. I think that'd be an excellent match. I think it would sell a whole lot of pay-per-views. I would scrap up whatever money I could find, and I would buy WrestleMania to see that match. I don't know if The Rock is going to wrestle. That's why.
No, he pretty much stated that he's pretty much done with wrestling. He just loves the business so much, and Rocky Johnson was his father, so there's history with the whole wrestling thing. And
he loves wrestling. I just don't think he wants to wrestle anymore. So he's gonna go out. He's gonna be the special referee. The Miz is gonna get in his face. Rock bottom, people's elbow, F you, and Cena's gonna win, and Rock's gonna raise his hand. That's how it's gonna go down.
Like, even if, like, Rock would put over Cena, like, say they did wrestle, and yeah, Rock would put over Cena, still, that'd probably be the best match you'd ever get out of Cena, ever, like, since he began in the company.
Yeah,
That would be a lesson.
Cena's had good matches since then. I mean,
Yeah, he has.
Dolph Ziggler. Him versus Dolph Ziggler was awesome.
Yeah, that would be him teaching Cena how to wrestle an amazing match. Really.
yeah, it would be a great match. I'm just not sure it's going to happen. I want it to happen. I would mark the fuck out if it happened. I think that would be a great and interesting feud. I just don't see it. And I could be completely wrong, but I don't see it. Did anyone watch fucking NXT?
Yes, I did.
I missed the first few minutes of it. I watched it, and I think this was probably one of their better NXTs.
Is there anything noteworthy to talk about?
Daniel Bryan versus Derek Bateman. I love Derek Bateman.
Amazing match.
Both of these guys were trying to do the labella lock on each other. That was the whole thing with this match. Was, teacher versus student. Okay, they're going to trade the labella lock around and put on a really good show. I mean, Derek is a little bit green, but I hope he wins.
Other than that, there was nothing noteworthy. It was Brodus Clay beating R-Truth, and then Matt Stryker hosting Jeopardy.
Oh yeah.
Nickelodeon slime!
You know what, there was a question that, they go from 80s to 90s to title reigns to WrestleMania and blah, 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 blah. And one of the questions for 80s was, when did SmackDown debut? I knew when SmackDown debuted. I knew it because Chris Jericho's debut match in the WWE was on the first episode of SmackDown.
They put that in the 80s category?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, NXT.
Fail!
You know what NXT needs to be? It needs...
Gone?
No, it doesn't need to be gone. It needs to go back to what it was. It needs to be ECW again. All the young guys from FCW, they get to come up, they get to work, WWE-style matches, they get to get some exposure. They're doing Tough Enough now, so what the fuck is the point of doing the fucking rookie competitions and, put on a real wrestling show. There's no point to doing NXT in its current format anymore. It's not on TV. Just do it like it was fucking ECW. Just don't call it ECW. The SmackDown opened with that big clusterfuck.
A 12-man tag.
It's been 10 years, and we've reached 600 episodes, and,
WWE likes to jerk off to this. No one gives a shit about how many episodes Raw has. No one gives a shit about how many episodes SmackDown has. Just put on a good fucking wrestling show and maybe say, hey, by the way, it's the anniversary show. Because this show wasn't worthy of a fucking anniversary show. You would think if some other show got to a 600 episode, they'd be like, we gotta make this shit a big deal. But it wasn't really a big deal. It's John Cena, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, Edge, John Morrison, R-Truth versus Kane, CM Punk, Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler, Wade Barrett, and Drew McIntyre.
So team heel versus team babyface, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the content of the match was pretty solid between the bell stuff. Before the finish, I didn't think it was a bad match. I thought it was good. I was entertained by it, and I didn't stop watching it. I didn't turn the channel. But, then the clusterfuck finish that they do in all these fucking matches where the match breaks down and everyone hits all their finishers on everyone else and all that bullshit. It just got old. Edge is the one that ends up spearing Dolph for the win. And then, when Edge...
Oh, we gotta talk about something first. This was in San Diego, Rey Mysterio's hometown. So, because he was in this match, big ass pop for him.
He was wearing a San Diego Chargers style ring attire.
Yeah, I thought that looked pretty cool. You know what we got to talk about next?
Oh, yeah.
Next! Yes! Next!
And she says that Edge assaulted Teddy Long. She doesn't show any proof of it, but she says that she can prove it. And she says Edge is fired and that she will coronate Dolph later in the night. Edge walking out to, walking out. Oh, and dejected.
He's walking out to the Incredible Hulk ending theme. he's hitchhiking. Nobody wants to pick him up. It's quite sad. It's really depressing.
Poor Edge.
And he's still in his wrestling gear.
This is like the second stupid angle Edge has been involved in not even 4 months.
Kane!
But next up is Maurice and Layla versus Eve and Beth Phoenix. First of all, I hate the fact that Eve is on SmackDown. because now I have to watch 2 Eve matches a week. I could really stomach one, so that's never fun.
And of course, they barely
we have Beth Phoenix, so it's all good.
Oh, she was barely used at all in this match.
Yeah.
They didn't tag her in. It was mainly it was a storyline to get over the fact that Layla can't win a fucking match without Michelle McCool interfering. Michelle McCool is actually injured right now. She hurt her foot, I think. But yeah, it's basically an angle to get over the fact that Layla can't beat anyone without Michelle McCool, which, Layla isn't, she's not the most talented, but I think I would argue that she's more talented in ring-wise than Michelle McCool is.
Yeah, I'd say that. Promo-wise, she's not. Like, when I heard her talk for the first time, I couldn't even tell she was British. I thought she just had a really bad speech impediment.
It was so Valley Girlish, like, oh my god,
I don't think she's completely British. I thought she was like South African or something, because that's a different kind of.
She is rather tan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was like. It's either she was born in South Africa and then raised in Great Britain or some shit like that. So that kind of explains the weird accent, born in one place, probably raised there a couple years, and then you go to another place and you pick up both accents. It happens, Every once in a while I slip into my New Jersey accent, even though I haven't lived there in years. It happens. This match, surprise, surprise, the match wasn't very good. And Michelle has to interfere to help Layla. It was a throwaway match on what quickly became a throwaway kind of show. The next match on the card, Miz versus Kofi Kingston, and a solid match. It felt like Raw was SmackDown, and SmackDown was Raw this week.
I kind of get what they were trying to do. Like, The Miz beat the United States champion Daniel Bryan on Raw. Now he's going to beat the Intercontinental champion. I got that, but it wasn't that great of a match. I mean, like, Daniel Bryan and The Miz have great chemistry. He doesn't seem to have that kind of good chemistry with Kofi.
Ever since Dolph Ziggler got pushed to the main event, there's nothing for him. I wouldn't mind to see the Jack Swagger thing with versus Kofi Kingston, but now he's just attacking.
I just remembered I haven't seen Jack Swagger in fucking.
I think he is injured. I think that's why he's not feuding with Kofi right now.
When did he get injured, though?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't remember that. But he hasn't been on TV in a fucking long time. Kofi is feuding with Alberto Del Rio.
And the reason they're doing that is because they've got to set up for Alberto at WrestleMania, and they realized this pay-per-view was coming up, and they said, oh shit, we don't have anything for him to do.
I know. Put him with Kofi. Kofi will do anything. Apparently, SmackDown is going to pass Gunsmoke in 34 episodes. So, wow, that's fucking exciting right there.
Because the audience watching SmackDown knows what Gunsmoke is.
Oh, Cole was commentating during this, and it was actually pretty funny. And he said, well, Lash is roadkill now. SmackDown is ahead.
Oh, that was cheap.
Darkest catch. Darkest catch. Yeah, after that, Santino and Vladimir defeated Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater by DQ. Just another stupid match where the core comes down, they interfere, then Big Show comes out. Surprisingly, he did not get body slammed by Big Zeke this week.
Yay!
That's great.
By the way, guys, let's play Name the Genetti of the stable. Let's see, you got Justin Gabriel, Exciting High Flyer, you got Wade Barrett, Snarky Eagle Shield, you got Big Zeke, this big fucking dominant motherfucker. Then you got albino fucking Ginger.
Who's gonna be the Genetti? Poor Heath Slater.
Aw, that's the problem. He's not that bad. He's gotten pretty good in the ring.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot more polish. He's better in the ring. He just has.
Well,
shit, Mike.
Either.
Like I'm a one-man rock band.
I remember when he used to do that stupid dance. I wanted to punch him in the face.
Well, it's not Heath's fault. I mean, a guy like that kind of needs some direction on where his character is going to go. Like, I don't often advocate the WWE giving characters to people, but they gave him probably the most shit character of anyone on his season of NXT. And Cena fucking buried him with that "you look like Wendy" shit. and everyone else in Nexus and the Core has a character except Heath Slater.
And David
Heath
Otunga.
Slater's just there.
David Otunga
He's
has
a whiny, stuck-up sidekick. That's what he is.
He's a Starscream. That's who he is. He's a Starscream.
Why
Ooh,
the fuck would you insult Starscream like that?
yeah.
Well, he betrays everyone. He fucking betrays everyone.
No,
Don't get me wrong. He's trying to beat Starscream. He's trying to beat Starscream and failing.
You know what? We're just gonna move on because I think I'm gonna cry now. I feel so bad. Starscream is in a corner right now crying.
Why would you say that about me? It's fucking David Otunga, you piece of shit!
Anyways, next up is the Dolph Ziggler coronation angle.
You mean the raping of the entire Dolph Ziggler push in 5 minutes?
Yeah. Basically what happens is Vicky gives Dolph the belt, Teddy Long comes back, and he's like, well, you can keep the belt, but you have to have an immediate title match with fucking Edge, because I hired Edge back, you know. At some point during the 2 hours, Edge was terminated, got his termination papers faxed back to fucking Connecticut. Then Teddy Long showed up and was like, fuck it, we're just gonna draft you a new contract. They drafted him a new contract, and then Edge came out and wrestled. And Edge beat Dolph Ziggler to win the World Heavyweight Championship.
they shouldn't have done it this way.
This is really what I call saying how to make the World Heavyweight title look even less important than it already does.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember the hardcore title? Yeah. Short title.
Oh, don't remind us of that.
Please, no.
It really was like a 24/7 rule. Dolph won the title, then like 2 hours later, someone else randomly pins him and wins the title.
The only good memory I have of the hardcore title was at WrestleMania 18, when Molly Holly was heading for the parking lot or wherever, and Christian just slammed the door. And
She took that like a champ.
Molly Holly was awesome. At any rate, I wonder who Dolph pissed off. I haven't read any rumors that he has any heat, but I don't understand why. He had all this fucking momentum. He was a main event guy. Honestly, I thought that he could have stood on his own without Vicky. Why wouldn't they fucking just break them up? I mean, how many fucking people has Vicky slept with and broken up with? I mean,
I think what happened was they realized that they kind of pushed him into an angle where he was just going to lose and his entire push was going to be pointless. So instead of just having it resolve at the end of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view and just letting it fade away into the minds of the fans, they decided, screw it, we'll just completely bone it up right now.
You know, this is probably good, if only just to help the mid-carders out a bit more. Just like, okay, you're really, really good. You're gonna go to Raw and you're gonna go fight Daniel Bryan again.
I don't think he's gonna go to Raw. I think he'll be back on SmackDown for one reason or another. Vicky will find a way to hire him back, or Teddy will make him do some menial task and he'll be rehired then. I hope this isn't the end of Dolph Ziggler's push, because that guy earned a fuckload of my respect over the last few months. I always thought he was a talented wrestler that got saddled with a couple of shit gimmicks, but he just kept working.
Spirit Squad.
Although we do got to talk about that blog he posted about getting fired from WWE. It was funny, but the dude needs to learn how to use a fucking spell check. I read this and I just face palmed. I'm like, Dolph, really? It's a little button at the top of the screen. You just push it.
But yeah, I didn't like this angle. It feels like Michael Hayes called up Vince Russo and was like, hey, I just need a one-off stupid fucking angle. Could you give me one?
Something we actually forgot to mention. If you called up Vince Russo, what would he say? Well, you had your first show at the beginning of the week. What was really popular from that? Just play that again.
Oh, yeah.
They played the whole Rock promo.
Yeah.
They cut a little bit out. Like, they cut 2 minutes of it out.
Where the thing he meant they cut out was when he said, son of a bitch.
He said some bitch, not son of a bitch. There's a difference.
I think they also cut out the thing he said about Justin Bieber.
Well, you can't upset the Bieber. I would not be surprised if Rock didn't have fucking death threats. Anybody that talks about that man gets fucking death threats. That is a powerful little man.
and Justin Bieber frightens me. He frightens me almost as much as this episode of Impact frightened me. How's that for a segue? So the show opens with Immortal coming out to the fucking ring. Bischoff basically sucks off Jeff Hardy because Jeff Hardy is the fucking TNA World Heavyweight Champion again, which means
for the love of God, I hate fucking Jeff Hardy. I will do what Ric Flair does and just hit myself in the head and leave. And say, oh, I hate Jeff Hardy, woo!
Yeah, speaking of Ric Flair, Flair is back, and he came out, and he did what Ric Flair does best. He rambled. I'm the Ninja Boy! I am a wrestling god! Woo, woo, woo,
Did he look hammered to anybody else?
He looks like Ric Flair. I can't tell
I can't
anymore.
tell when he's drunk and when he's sober.
But he could down that fucking Smirnoff Ice like a madman.
He looked and sounded way drunker than usual.
How much do you want to bet that they filmed that Smirnoff Ice promo right before he got out there?
He's a pretty well-known fucking party animal. He'd have to be a fucking lightweight for a goddamn Smirnoff Ice to...
Well, just because they only showed him drinking one Smirnoff Ice doesn't mean he stopped before he got out.
That's great.
He drank his own Smirnoff Ice, and then he drank AJ's Smirnoff Ice.
And then he drank the rest of Robert Roode's, and then he drank the rest of James Storm's. Then he just started raiding the beer fridge in the back.
Basically, Eric Bischoff thanks everyone in the ring for losing.
Yeah, seriously.
He says, thank you, Gunnar Murphy.
Got your asses handed to you by Scott Steiner. Way to go, guys.
Yes, thank you guys. And Matt Hardy, thank you for fucking sucking so much air out of the arena. You were breathing so hard. You're so talented at that.
They booked Hardy and RVD.
Because the network wanted it. Because now the network can book matches. So apparently Dixie Carter, Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, and Jeff Jarrett, and Ric Flair, and the network all have booking power in TNA. And you wonder why it's a clusterfuck, even in kayfabe. Next up is Douglas Williams versus Hernandez with Sarita and Rosita. Because apparently they're fucking, like, friends now. Like, literally, the segment before Hernandez comes out to wrestle the match is Hernandez is walking backstage, he sees Sarita and Rosita, they say some shit in Spanish, and then they randomly just walk out with Hernandez. So, apparently they're allied now.
It's what we were saying at Against All Odds. The evil Mexicans there plotting against us.
Yeah. It's not really a good match. Velvet Sky comes out and attacks Sarita during the match, and then Rosita beats up on Velvet Sky. Then Angelina Love runs down to fucking help fucking Velvet Sky. All the knockouts brawl to the back because that's all these bitches do. It's fucking brawl around the backstage. Hernandez wins via the stiffest looking border toss I have ever seen.
He landed on his goddamn head.
Oh
my God. I don't think I've ever seen a sicker looking border toss in my life.
No, it was
the one. As I like to call it the Razor's Edge.
Well, first of all, it's not the Razor's Edge because he doesn't. It's not like a powerbomb. He just picks a person up. It's like a jackknife Razor's Edge.
A couple months ago, Doug Williams was getting put over by AJ Styles. Now he's jobbing in about 2 minutes to Hernandez. Yeah. How far have you fallen?
Vince Russo is a xenophobic douche.
You don't think he likes the Brits?
Vince Russo at night. Can't sleep. Mexicans will get me. Can't sleep. Mexicans will get me.
Get these fucking Mexican lucha libres. Send them back to Japan. Williams was legitimately hurt on that border toss. Luckily for him, they're saying he wasn't badly injured. He didn't break his neck or anything like that, but God knows, he could have. If I had been watching that live, I would have been fucking terrified for that dude's life.
It was almost like the time Brock Lesnar just dropped Hardcore Holly right on his head.
That was because fucking Hardcore Holly was being a dick and sandbagging Brock. So, the next segment is, they set up, there's a luau set up in the ring. Pope comes out, and he says he's the most spectacular, pimptacular, blah, blah, fucking blah wrestler.
He's doing his Rock impression. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of this gimmick. It's not even funny anymore. It's literally bordering on racial stereotypes.
It's a giant racial stereotype.
I'm just getting sick of it. He needs to just drop it and then do something else. Because this crap's getting on my nerves.
If the Pope and Joe were putting on good matches, I wouldn't mind it so much. But there's been nothing to this feud.
There's been no good matches. There's been no good promos. This is a giant nothing sandwich.
I don't even think Joe cares anymore. I think he just realizes that TNA is an easy payday, and that's why he's stuck around there. I don't even think he cares that he's getting pushed into these crap gimmicks, getting abducted by ninjas. It's
coming out with a cardboard knife, getting a stupid fake tattoo. It's all this shit. I agree with you. I think Joe, in a weird way, is a lot like, we were talking about how Sting is scared to go to WWE. I think Joe is a lot like that. I think Joe thinks, if I go to the WWE, they're going to misuse me.
It's TNA abused spouse syndrome. They browbeat their talent into sticking around because they can't cut it elsewhere. That WWE doesn't want them. They make them think that anyways. I think WWE might legitimately be interested in Joe if he showed any interest in wanting to work for them. But TNA, they do such great mental manipulation, just saying, oh, this is as good as it's ever going to get for you. Why don't you stick around? We'll have you jobbing to Jeff Jarrett.
Like, when I watch Joe wrestle, you know how Taz was towards the end of his career? When they took him off commentary for a little while, you know, after the invasion, and he was tag team champions with Spike Dudley and shit, but there was just something missing. He wasn't Taz anymore. He was just a guy. That's what I feel like with Joe. He doesn't look like the badass Samoan submission machine, the guy that was undefeated. Joe's just gonna kill you. He doesn't look like that guy, and he doesn't look like he cares to be that guy anymore.
He's done before he even got started. I wouldn't say he's given up. He's realized that he doesn't have to try in TNA. And what you were saying about him being scared to go to WWE because he'd be misused, it's not even that. He'd have to work in WWE. He doesn't have to work in TNA.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, there's not a whole lot to this. Pope does his stupid gimmick shit. Samoa Joe comes out. Pope is all scared and he's about to jump out the ring, but Okado's on the apron. He gives Pope the lamest looking kick an Asian wrestler has ever given anyone.
It doesn't even look like it connected.
He looked like he just lifted his leg and was like, kick. Ball down, please.
He lifted his leg. That's all he did.
Yeah. And then Joe beats up Pope and gives him a muscle buster through the table that was set.
That muscle buster through the table sent Pope into a grand mal seizure. Did you see him twitching on the ground like he just got shot?
Ooh. TNA X Division Championship. It's Robbie E with Cookie versus Kazarian. Before this match, we actually see Kazarian backstage macking on Tracy, seriously, I don't have man face Brooks.
You watch your whore mouth, sir.
She didn't look that bad on Impact.
And of course, we have to talk about Tracy Brooks' massive cans.
Oh, yeah.
The best part of that match was Tracy Brooks running down the ramp and almost hitting herself in the face with her massive, vertically enhanced breasts.
Let's talk about Robbie E's piece of crap promo.
Oh,
the
yes.
most hysteric promo I've ever heard in my life.
Where's Zack Ryder when you need him? Please.
Seriously. Why is this guy in TNA? What redeeming value did they see in this guy to go, you know what? Let's hire him.
Because he's a young guy who's tan, who has a nice body, and Vince Russo was saying to himself, you know what I want to do? I want to do a fucking Jersey Shore gimmick. This guy looks like he could be on the Jersey Shore. Oh, and let's call up Becky Bayless. I'm sure she's not sucking anyone's cock right now, so we can hire her as well.
Oh, coming back to this, recently the person they paid like 10 large to...
Who, JWoww?
Yes, has just gotten herself into a porno video.
Oh.
I'll be in my bunk.
Dude, I don't even want to see that.
It's just morbid curiosity.
It's morbid curiosity and lots of masturbation. But we also found out what GTW means. GTW, according to Taz, and he said it really, really quickly, apparently stands for Gym, Tan, and Wrestle. It wasn't a good match. Basically, the end of the match was Cookie comes down and hits Kazarian with her fucking purse. There was a cat fight. Kazarian and Robbie E break it up. And
if Tracy Brooks had used her tits to beat up Cookie, that would have probably been the best impact ever.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
She could smash watermelons with those babies. The match is Matt Hardy versus AJ Styles. Another rice cake match. Nothing happened. The big thing that happened was Ric Flair came down. He pushed AJ off the ropes. Basically, for some godforsaken reason, Ric Flair has aligned himself with a mortal. And
why?
I don't know.
Their top babyface right now is AJ Styles, and they fucked that all up.
I don't know why Ric Flair. Immortal was the group he put together, right?
Him and Hulk Hogan.
No, you put together.
No, Fortune was the group he put together.
And now he's turned on them. The most classic swerve. Like, I'm turning into a babyface. Oh, no, wait, I'm a heel still. I had you all fooled.
Russo, go take some basic writing classes, learn how to explain some stuff, then come back and decide to be head writer for a program that you and the creative team are single-handedly tanking.
This is my question to Dixie Carter. Do you watch this shit? Do you watch what these men are doing?
No. The thing is, Dixie doesn't know what is good wrestling. She's never had any exposure to wrestling before. Jeff Jarrett and his dad swindled her into fucking buying the company. All she knows of wrestling is what Jeff Jarrett and Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo and Hulk Hogan have told her. She has no experience with wrestling outside of that.
They brainwashed her into thinking that TNA is the good, no matter what, and WWE is terrible.
They didn't do that. They somehow convinced her that what WWE doesn't make money. That's what they did. Everything right that they do, she just dismisses it.
They came to her and said, the only way you're going to make any money with this business is to take the guys that everybody knows and just abuse the fuck out of them.
That's Eric Bischoff's thing. Eric Bischoff has never created a goddamn superstar in his whole fucking life. The only fucking legitimate main event star that WCW ever created was Goldberg. And Goldberg was a fucking accident. No, I'm talking about Eric Bischoff's WCW. And Goldberg was an accident. Goldberg wasn't supposed to get over. You know, everyone wants to talk about how, Hogan put him over in the fucking Georgia Dome on free TV, by the way. He wasn't supposed to get over.
They put him on the undercard, basically said, we're going to have him go out there, and he's going to kill a guy. And then all of a sudden, the crowd just starts chanting him. The crowd is giving him huge pops. The crowd's loving him. And they looked at this and said, how can we exploit this? That's what they did. They made a murderer out of a guy, had him with an undisputed streak, and they just said, we're running with it.
It was very disputed. I mean, he had like 576 wins. And
it's always debatable. You will find so many different claims and how many wins and losses he has.
I think his theory is that there's only been two guys that have ever drawn money in this business, and that's Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. And his feeble, small, stupid little brain, he thinks that those are the only two stars who have ever drawn money, who could ever draw money.
He had Bret the Hitman Hart, and he wasted it like a bitch.
It's just, whatever, fuck. Mr. Anderson comes to the ring angry. Basically, he's pissy because RVD has a match with Jeff Hardy later in the night. I was under the impression that the former champ, gets a title match first. Bischoff was like, the network wanted the match. I don't want RVD to be in the match. The network wanted him. first of all, maybe you weren't picked to be in the match because of your language. Maybe you're not PG enough for the match.
Oh wait, you're serious.
That's Anderson's whole gimmick right now. That he was in WWE, and Vince wouldn't let him go out and curse on TV, and now he can say asshole on TV. Fuck you, grow up. They sucked Vince's cock so hard in that fucking promotion.
I need to get this off my chest. You're accusing Anderson of not being PG enough, but you have a guy in the match whose whole moniker is that he considers himself to be the whole effing show. I don't care what your definition of PG is, that is not PG.
Anderson, they suck so much fucking WWE cock. Every fucking episode, there are at least 5 mentions of that company. Anderson mentions it in every promo, that bitter bastard. Get over it.
He had the money in the fucking bank. Guaranteed title victory.
They were gonna push that motherfucker to the moon, and he fucked up.
Yeah, he had what? This fucking ugly ass Immortal Championship belt for like a month. And he also had the U.S. title for a month. The U.S. title is a much more prestigious title than the goddamn TNA World title.
The whole Money in the Bank screw-up, not really his fault. He got injured. He was injured for something. I don't even remember what now. And he had to fork it up. And I don't know why they made him fork it up. Chances are there was something backstage going on. He probably did something stupid. Then he got injured and they were like, well, screw this guy. We'll just give it to Edge.
Well, he should be a little bit grateful that he even had that opportunity to win that Money in the Bank.
They pushed him every chance they got. They gave him the Money in the Bank briefcase, then he got injured. Then they tried to make him Vince's son, and the bastard got injured again. And then he was in a match in which he injured Cena, which probably wasn't his fault, but
if you injured Cena, you are a dead man.
And then allegedly he almost injures fucking Randy Orton. They gave him every fucking opportunity to be the guy, and he fucked it up every time. If he doesn't like that, he can suck it. He needs to grow the fuck up.
Get a movie, for the love of God, like Behind Enemy Lines, the sequel. Why
it was a shitty movie, but again, it just goes to show they pushed that motherfucker to the moon. They wanted him to be the guy, and he fucked it up. It's his fault he fucked it up. He can suck it. He needs to stop complaining about the goddamn WWE and how he was held back and all that shit, because it's bullshit. I fucking hate Anderson.
Anyways, the whole point of that thing was just to make Anderson the special guest referee for that.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
And then Anderson gets on his Stone Cold bullshit and he gives Bischoff a fucking mic check.
Angelina Love and Velvet Sky versus Sarita and Rosita.
Oh.
So fake lesbians and lesbian incest.
Yeah, pretty much. Winter and Velvet are having a discussion backstage. And Velvet is basically like, bitch, stay away from my best friend, bitch. If you interfere, bitch, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass, bitch. And then Velvet turns away, and Winter grabs a pair of Crayola crayon-style scissors as if she's going to murder Velvet Sky. What is with all the goddamn murderers on this show?
The tag match they had, aside from the main event, was the longest match they had, by the way, at 4 minutes long.
Basically, what comes out of this stupid match is Velvet Sky agrees to put her career on the line in the match versus Sarita, because I'm hoping Velvet was like, you know what, fuck this, I'll just quit. I'll just do what all the other knockouts do. I did skip Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett promos.
But we have to talk about it.
Basically, all throughout the show, there are these segments in which Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett are in a hot tub feeding each other strawberries.
They had to show Jeff Jarrett.
First of all, they claim it's live via satellite, so they're doing the hot tub stuff, and it's bright ass day in Orlando, and then randomly we cut to a fucking limousine where it's pitch black out. But that's not the best part. Somehow Kurt Angle finds out they're going to a restaurant. He finds out what restaurant they're going to. Apparently, Kurt Angle is a psychic. Basically, Jeff and Karen go to this quote-unquote restaurant. It's not a restaurant. It's some back room on the Universal set.
You know what's funny about this? When Kurt Angle came out and said, I want your manager, and Kurt Angle came out, Kurt Angle's the manager of a restaurant? Who knew?
Yeah, it was just you know how I said the Rock promo had to be seen? Yeah, these fucking promos have to be seen, but not in a goddamn good way.
And he just chases them off, and I thought it was pretty funny that at the end he's like, what, no tip?
Kurt's actually a funny guy. He just decided he wants to be serious all the time, man. After that, Taz and Mike Tenay are talking about something stupid, and then Bully Ray comes out and bullies Mike Tenay.
Bully Ray is just like in the face, and we see a Taz argue with Bubba Ray. I'm not fucking calling him Bully Ray. He's Bubba Ray. He will always be Bubba Ray because he's Bubba Ray. It's like calling the Dudley Boys Team 3D. I just can't do it.
It's a stupid segment. It's not a good segment. Basically, Taz bows up to him because Taz just has these random moments of alleged badassery where he'll, stand up to someone. This is going along. So, next is the main event of the evening. It's Rob Van Dam versus Jeff Hardy with Anderson as a special guest referee. It's your average 2003 Raw style match. And if you watched Raw back then, that is not a good thing. Anyone have anything significant to say about this match?
One thing I noticed about this, Anderson was completely out of place to count the pinfall at the end.
At the end, Anderson holds up Jeff Hardy's hand. Then, surprise, surprise, he gives him the mic check. And then RVD is all pissed off because Anderson was the referee and counted the pinfall, I guess. So he's pissed off that Anderson did what he was supposed to do instead of... Because why was RVD pissed off?
He hit the frog splash, and then he's about to get the pin, but Hardy gets his leg on the rope, and RVD gets in his face over it.
This was about your average episode of Impact, which means that it was averagely shitty.
I feel violated now. I feel like I've been wronged. I feel like Dixie Carter owes me money for watching that piece of shit.
Let's move on to happier things. We have to talk about the things that got more screen time than Jay Lethal on TNA Impact this week. You know what got more screen time than Jay Lethal this week? The goddamn door frame that's in every fucking promo that this fucking company shoots. You want to know what else got more screen time than Jay Lethal? Sarita's exposed left nipple.
Ooh, yeah.
We are going to wrap it up for this week. This is No Leave Clover signing off for Backlash. Matt the Paranoid Cat and Mr. War Machine. We will see you later. Bye, everyone.